Apple, Google, Amazon, some of the most powerful companies on the planet. And they all have one thing in common that nobody talks about. They've used shell companies to legally move billions of dollars and pay almost nothing in taxes. And the crazy part? It's completely legal. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how it works, step by step, in plain English. Okay, so first, what even is a shell company? Think of it like this. You know how a movie set looks like a real city, but walk behind the buildings and there's nothing there? That's a shell company. It exists on paper. It has a name, it has a bank account, maybe even an official address. But there were no employees showing up to work, no products being made, no real business happening. Just a legal structure, sitting quietly doing one job. And that job is holding something. Money, property, assets, ownership. That's it. Here's where most people are shocked. Setting up a shell company is easier than getting a driver's license. In some U.S. states like Delaware or Wyoming, you can register a company in a single afternoon online for less than $100. And the most important part is you don't have to reveal who actually owns it. You can use a lawyer, an agent, another company. Your name never has to appear anywhere public. So on paper, it's just a business, completely normal looking. But behind the scenes, someone is pulling the strings. Now, here's where it gets genius, or dangerous, depending on how it's used. Imagine this. You own Company A, simple enough, but Company B is owned by Company C, which is registered in the Cayman Islands, and Company C, it's owned by a trust in Switzerland that lists no individual owner. Now try to figure out who actually controls Company A. Good luck. This is called ownership layering, and it's used by everyone from Hollywood celebrities protecting their real estate to billionaires moving money across borders. The goal is not speed, the goal is distance. Distance between the money and the person it belongs to. Once the structure's set up, moving money through it looks completely normal. One company pays another company for consulting services or licensing fees or management costs. On paper, it looks like a regular business transaction, but in reality, it might be a billionaire moving their own money to another country with completely different tax laws. Here's a real example. Google used a structure called the double Irish with a Dutch sandwich. Two Irish companies, one Dutch company in the middle. The result? They shifted billions in profits to Bermuda, where the corporate tax rate is zero. Completely legal, fully documented, publicly known. And they're not alone. This was standard practice for years. Shell companies are not automatically illegal. Let's be clear about that. They're used every day for totally legitimate reasons. A celebrity buys a house through an LLC so fans don't find their address. A startup protects its intellectual property across multiple legal entities. An investor holds assets in different countries through separate companies. All legal, all normal. The problem starts when the same exact tool is used to hide money from tax authorities, fund illegal activity, or move stolen wealth across borders. Same structure, different intention, completely different outcome. Here's the part that actually affects your life. When massive corporations use shell companies to pay zero taxes, that gap gets filled somewhere. Roads, schools, hospitals, public services. The money has to come from somewhere. And more often than not, it comes from regular people who can't afford an offshore structure. That's not an opinion. That's just how tax systems work. So the next time you hear about a billion-dollar scandal or a celebrity's mysterious real estate deal or a tech giant paying almost no taxes in your country, now you know what's sitting quietly in the background. Not a crime scene, just paperwork. And that's exactly why it works. If this opened your eyes, share it with someone who thinks only criminals use offshore accounts, because the truth is far more interesting than that.